boys, it's my Minecraft Championship 27 predictions. It's the Christmas themed one if you're not aware, and if you're wondering why I'm doing it today, if you're not following my channel, like the day before MCC I believe I'm going to be uploading this, it's because my channel's been on hiatus for a month, so I haven't uploaded for that, and I didn't do it first video because, if you look very eloquently towards this over here, I did a community poll or whatever. I now have the facilities to do that. I didn't a while ago, so I'm happy I got this sorted, I guess. I don't know if it just told me I've been channel up for a while, but yeah, so pay attention to that in the future. If you want to know about my channel, just look at the posts I may do out, and then you can see that's why yesterday I uploaded the quest for stuff in Minecraft video. Simply because people wanted that the most. Granted, only 3 people, but you know. Anyway, on to the predictions. 10th, Mint Mistletoes. Now, Mint is a good team. Sylvie's very good. Hannah's very good, but it's more of the fact that this is a very across the board team in terms of so leveled out. I don't believe they will compete for dodgeball, which is a large reason why I put them 10th. Every other team I could see competing for dodgeball, apart from of course the team in 9th, but I put them in 10th largely because I want Sapphire Santas or the Simmers to finish there. I believe Zeus can carry them a little bit to 9th. And yeah, it's just a bit of my optimism, but we're gonna get this going. 8th, Cerulean Candy, Cerulean? I don't know. Cerulean Candy Canes, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Now you got Pete and his team, which means that they should do alright, which is why I predicted them very low down. But I don't think this team will be dodgeball challengers, really. I think they will also sit back a bit, but got to back Pete to get them at least some points up on the table, so to say. And in number 7th is the Yellow Yetis. Now, this is largely because of H-Bomb will almost guarantee that this team is stable and across the board. They'll finish alright. But it's more of the competitiveness. When you've got I was going to say a weak Minecraft Championship. It's not that they're particularly weak, this one. It's just weaker than the other ones because you've got such significant missing players. I don't think Fruit's not in this one. I don't think Watch can be there. Dreams not in. Sapnap's not in. You've removed a fair whack of S tiers there. Just so, of course, the teams like this with no outright carry, you could argue H-Bomb is an S tier, but you don't feel like they're gonna push on for dodgeball particularly. At least that's my opinion. Into 6th, Pink Presents. Now, I rate this team alright. Tapel's inconsistent. Phil's is experienced and in the middle of the barrel, and Ludwig and Sniffer's are very inexperienced or haven't performed to a elitely high level. So the main reason I'm predicting them there is I feel like this will be a very good atmosphere, so to say. I feel like this team will be very welcome, very good chemistry. So I feel like they'll be more in the lines of it, so to say. Going to 5th, Purple Penguins. Now this team, I've put them here exclusively because of chemistry, not gonna lie. This team should work together, like gel really well together. So that we should place alright. Players aren't bad, they're all run-of-the-mill relatively. I mean, and you can obviously tell which ones are better within there. Ant Frost is probably the best player there. Then Ponk, then Bad, then Red Velvet, but they're all able to do alright. Coming in 4th, this is where the places get real hot. Red Reindeers. A lot of people predicting dodgeball for these, or at least I think they are. I'm not, simply because of it's Rambo. He hasn't really made dodgeball, and he didn't in underdogs, which was like his main chance to do so. So he's missing out again. But I didn't want to put him third because that's just pouring salt into the wound, I feel. Jojo very good times with Scar. Is this team is like a shift when you got Jojo and good times with Scar? It's like a shift of the Green Geckos over a couple MCCs ago, where it was Jojo's good times with Scar, Smallish Beans, and CPK. It's whether Gemini Tay and Rambo are like good makeups for CPK and Smallish Beans. I don't know. Rambo may be able to make up for one of them. I don't think Gemini Tay's on par, but granted, this is a less competitive MCC, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do better. But I don't see them dominating. I see them scraping a second if they do get into dodgeball. Coming in at third, very unlucky for them, the Gingerbread Men. Now, Purple had a phenomenal last MCC, not the underdogs of course, but the one before. He had a phenomenal one. He were amazing, and Smager will definitely make sure the team's consistent. However, from watching MCC underdogs, I watched Fire Breath Man's perspective. I don't think, although Impulsive is definitely able to do a job, I don't think this team, although Purple is obviously also great, I don't think any of them in proportion have the carrying potential Fire Breath Man does. It's more Fire Breath Man kept bringing that team up from my perspective, and although Purple is obviously probably allocated that role here, Fire Breath Man at least had Blushy as like his assistant or whatever, I guess. Well, that's a bit harsh in that terms, but at least spread it out amongst for the pressure. But I don't know who takes the double burden in this case. So it would be a lot of pressure on Purple, and I don't know. I feel like Purple had a much better last MCC because if he had the right atmosphere and team. This doesn't strike me as the same vibe you'd get from like teaming with Rambo and Slimesicle, so it's a bit debated, but as I say, I put them third, so I still think they'll do a good job. But I feel like the top two, well, you probably already know if you've seen the teams. Numero dos, Emerald Elves. I think this team is very good. Now, G Nelly, obviously, like, the weakest link, unless you want to put Jack Manifold here. But it's Illumina and Tommy are clearly the double pivot's probably not the right word, but the ones to soak up the performance, the ones that will do well as a collective and relieve stress off of each other. So that's alright. Jack makes the atmosphere a lot better, I imagine. He'll work away there, but he didn't. He's very. His performances haven't been as phenomenal, but I feel like because they'll get second, they'll be a lot better. I thought Jack's team and underdogs were gonna do a lot better, but no. So no, a bit disappointing. But we're on to first, which you probably know by now. Teal Turkeys. This is a very good team. This is what I like a team for an average MCC would be. For ones that had a lot more S tiers in it, this would be about a 5th or 6th place team in there. I think a first place team for his is pretty obvious. I feel like if you're comparing them to Emerald Elves, I feel like Captain and Puns is almost identically skillful as is Tommy and Illumina. I feel like it's a very on par duos there. And then I think Sneak and Solidarity is better than G Nelly and Jack Manifold, so is what is. But if they're both into dodgeball, who will win? Who do I think will win dodgeball? Teal Turkeys. Yes. I'm not an idiot. You think I'm gonna back Jack Manifold in it dodgeball? He hasn't won a single dodgeball game. I've backed him too many times where if he turns up this time I'm not even mad. I'll be like, thank God now my rest of my predictions don't sound stupid, but I'm backing Teal because it's a safe option, and yeah. And then MVP Illumina, I feel like this is definitely his MCC. There isn't much S tier competition. If Pete had a better team, I'd have faith in Pete. If Puns pops off, then he'll probably get real high up. But I feel like this is definitely Illumina's bracket to get the #1 spot. And then the unexpected performer, Jack Manifold, with that nightmare picture. It is basically. Well, I had a look at an overview of all the players throughout these teams. If I go back a bit in the slides, any of these players particularly don't seem like they seem very predictable of how well they'll do. If you look through these teams, I think the Simmers is fairly predictable-ish. I don't think they'll have anyone outstandingly good. You expect it to do well. The rest you seem to do average or a bit poor. But of course, upon the high 4 teams, if you look, sorry I'm flicking through them so much. If you look at the teams I've put there, maybe Good Times with Scar is another shout. Maybe Impulsive. But bar them, I feel like the rest of them will just, with the predictions I've done, are very on the nose and on the job. So yeah, I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments below what your predictions are for the placements, and most importantly, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe, and watch MCC tomorrow, I guess. And yeah, make sure to check out my other content, and bye. Outro.